If you are a senior driver in America right now and you got behind the wheel this morning the same way you have been driving for the last 40 years, same habits, same routes, same assumptions about what is legal and what is not, you may have already triggered a fine you do not know about yet. Not because you were reckless, not because you were careless, because 5 specific highway changes went into effect in 2026 that are hitting senior drivers harder than any other group on the road. And most seniors have never received a single clear explanation of what changed, what it costs, and what it is doing to their car insurance premium. Every single month it goes unaddressed. Today we are walking through all 5 changes, what each one means specifically for senior drivers, what the fines actually look like, and the exact steps you take before your next drive to make sure these 5 changes cost you nothing instead of hundreds. Which city and state are you watching from right now? Drop it below immediately. Because these 5 changes are hitting senior drivers in certain states significantly harder than others, and I need to know exactly how many people in this community are already driving under rules they do not fully understand. Drop your city and your state right now in the comments. Here is highway change number 1, the one generating the most unexpected fines for senior drivers right now, and the one that most seniors are dismissing as a rule that only applies to teenagers on their phones. One of the most critical changes that traffic law is experiencing in 2026 is not the imposition of new traffic law provisions, but the enforcement of already existing traffic law provisions. The complete ban on handheld device usage while driving is now being enforced as a primary offence in most states, meaning an officer can pull you over just for holding your phone, even if you have not violated any other traffic law. Even when stopped at red lights or in traffic jams, only hands-free voice-activated systems are allowed. Here is why this is hitting senior drivers specifically. Most senior drivers who use their phones while driving are not scrolling social media or texting friends. They are checking a map. They are adjusting the volume on a navigation app. They are answering a call from a family member checking in. These are the exact behaviours that the 2026 enforcement crackdown is targeting. And the fines are not small. A single distracted driving ticket can raise insurance premiums by 15 to 30% or more for several years. Not for the month you got the ticket. For several years. Every renewal. Every month. For a senior on a fixed income, the insurance premium increase is a monthly budget disruption that compounds long after the original fine is paid. Have you used your phone while stopped at a red light in the last 30 days? Yes or no? Drop it below right now, along with your city and state. Because the number of senior drivers doing this every day, without knowing it, is now a primary enforceable offence, is one of the most important things this channel has ever looked at. Here is highway change number 2, the camera enforcement expansion that is generating fines that arrive in senior drivers' mailboxes weeks after the violation, with no warning, no flashing lights, and no opportunity to explain. States are adding new ways to catch people breaking laws, with a clear trend toward using cameras and other technology to enforce traffic rules. Speed cameras, red light cameras, school zone cameras, work zone cameras. Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and Rhode Island have implemented new visibility standards for license plates to assist automated systems. In the Northeast, drivers in New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Connecticut face high fines for school zone speeding violations. Here is the specific senior driver vulnerability with camera enforcement. Senior drivers who have been driving the same routes for years, who know every traffic light, every school zone, every familiar landmark, are being caught by cameras installed at intersections and zones they have been passing through for decades. The camera was not there last year. It is there this year. The speed that felt safe and appropriate on that road last year is now being recorded and cited automatically. 2 to 3 weeks after the violation, a citation arrives in the mailbox. No flashing lights. No opportunity to explain. No warning. Just a fine and a deadline. Which city and state are you in right now? Drop it below. I am asking again because I need this community fully represented before we get to the most important part of this video. Your city, your state, right now. Here is highway change number 3, the work zone fine doubling that is carrying the largest single violation costs on American highways right now, and that senior drivers on familiar routes are triggering without realizing the work zone rules applied to them. Violations carry doubled fines and are enforced more aggressively in work zones. Fines in active work zones are structured to increase sharply for exceeding the posted limit by larger amounts. In California and multiple other states, this change was codified in the 2026 legislative package as part of a nationwide shift toward protecting roadside workers and stalled drivers. If distracted driving causes injury or death in a work zone, jail time can reach 1 year and permanent license revocation is possible. For senior drivers, the work zone danger is specific. Construction zones on familiar highways create unexpected speed limit drops from 65 to 45 in a short distance that require faster reaction time than some senior drivers can comfortably manage. A senior who slows to 50 instead of 45 in a work zone because they did not see the speed sign in time is in a doubled fine zone, exceeding the limit by 5 miles per hour. That 5 mile per hour overage in a work zone carries a fine that reflects the doubled penalty structure, and that fine, even paid immediately, goes on a driving record that affects insurance premiums at the next renewal. Here is highway change number 4. The point system tightening that is moving senior drivers closer to a mandatory license review than they realise. Several states are tightening their driver license point systems in 2026. This means fewer violations are required to trigger license suspension or mandatory driving courses. Minor infractions that were once considered low impact, such as modest speeding or equipment violations, may now carry points. The reasoning behind this change is to identify risky driving behaviour earlier and intervene before serious accidents occur. For senior drivers who already have any points from prior years, a camera-caught work zone violation, a school zone speeding ticket, a phone use citation, the new lower threshold for a mandatory review means they are closer to that review than they would have been under last year's point structure. And a mandatory review does not just look at the most recent violation, it looks at the entire recent driving record, including violations that felt minor and resolved at the time. Pull your driving record from your state DMV today. Know your current point total. Know where you stand relative to your state's new 2026 suspension threshold. If you are within 2 violations of that threshold, your driving behaviour on your very next highway trip needs to reflect that reality before another camera catches a plate on a road you have been driving for 20 years. Here is highway change number 5. The insurance verification change that is generating automatic citations for senior drivers who have experienced even a single day of coverage lapse. More states are now using real-time electronic insurance verification systems that allow law enforcement and DMV databases to instantly confirm whether a policy is active. With these tools in place, even a one-day lapse in coverage could be flagged automatically. Drivers with gaps in insurance coverage could face immediate consequences, including citations, higher premiums, and suspended registration. For senior drivers on fixed incomes who manage their bills carefully, a payment that was 2 days late, a renewal that did not process on the exact day the old policy expired, a switch between insurers where the new policy started 1 day after the old one ended. Any of these creates a 1-day lapse that the real-time system catches automatically. The citation arrives in the mail, the premium surcharge follows at renewal, and the driving record shows a lapse that affects coverage rates for years. Call your insurance company today. Confirm your policy is active. Confirm your coverage is continuous with no gaps. Confirm your state DMV has your current policy information on file. That one phone call today prevents a citation and premium increase that a real-time verification system would catch automatically at the next traffic camera. Here is exactly what you do right now before your next highway trip. Mount your phone on your dashboard before you start your engine and switch it to voice control. Never hold it. Not at a red light. Not in stopped traffic. Not for a single second while the engine is running on a public road. The enforcement camera does not know why your hand is on your phone. It knows your hand is on your phone. That is enough. Check your license plate today. Clean it. Remove any cover or frame. Make sure both plates are fully visible and meet your state's current standards. A plate that cannot be read by an automated camera system generates a flag even when you have done nothing else wrong. Know the active work zones on your regular routes before you leave home. Check your state DOT website. Adjust your speed the moment you see the first work zone sign, not when you see the workers. The camera in that zone is already recording. Pull your driving record from your state DMV and know your current point total relative to the new 2026 suspension threshold in your state. Senior drivers approaching that threshold need to know it before another violation tips them over. Call your insurance company and confirm your coverage is active and continuous. Get confirmation in writing or by email. Store that confirmation with your vehicle documents. One final thing. Scammers are calling senior drivers right now, claiming to be insurance representatives or DMV agents, warning them that their driving record has been flagged under the new 2026 highway rules, and they must pay a fee immediately or provide personal information to protect their license. That calls a scam. Every single time. Your state DMV does not call you to collect fees over the phone. Your insurance company does not call you to warn you about real-time verification flags. Every legitimate communication about your driving record or your coverage status arrives by mail. If any call arrives claiming your license or your insurance is at risk and you must act immediately, hang up. Then call your state DMV directly using the number on your state government's official website. Has any of these 5 highway changes surprised you today? Drop your city and state in the comments right now and tell us which change you had no idea was already in effect. Like this video immediately if it changed something about how you are going to drive today. Share it with every senior driver in your family and your community. And subscribe right now, because the next investigation covers the state-by-state breakdown of which specific highways have the most new camera enforcement zones in 2026. The system has rules. You deserve to know what they are. Take care of yourself.